Maple Leaf Rag from 1899. And to think 2 years after that piece was written, in 1901, the American Federation can't even speak. Get rags confused, everything's just wonderful. But an American Federation musician in 1901 said that this music that you're hearing tonight, ragtime, was the perils of the end of Western civilization. And yet, here we are over 100 years later, still intact. Ragtime didn't get us. So that's good. That means it's good for you. It's healthy. It's like vegetables. Or at least that's what the doctor tells you anyway. But, so this music is such a fun thing, and it's such an important part of American culture, because with this was the birth of popular music. You before this really had European music, and that was really about it. You had the music of the slaves back in the South, and of course that kind of combined together to create America's first music, ragtime. And it has become such an important part of our history. But of course another big part of our history is the movie-going experience, which had its birth in 1895 over in France, but was really adopted and made widespread by Thomas Edison and others in the 1905 era. And so now we're going to go back to the 1920s, experience what it would have been like to go to the movies and hear and see a picture on screen. And we've got 3 fantastic films for you tonight. We've got Laurel and Hardy, we've got Charlie Chaplin, and we have Buster Keaton, 3 of the biggies of American silent comedy for you, in beautifully restored prints. And of course we have the orchestra up here that'll be playing the live music. Now, how many of you, by a raise of hands, have ever seen an orchestra play for a movie before? Very few of you. This is good. This is very good. So, if you were around about 1910, 1920, when the latest and greatest pictures of the day would come by, I'm sure all of you were. But if you were around back then, you would go to the theater, you would pay your 5 or 10 cents to get in, and you would have your projectionist having the newsreels, the comedies, the feature films of the day that would be running, and you would hear this orchestra play live for everything. Or maybe you'd have a pianist or a theater organist, depending on what venue you went to or what time of day you went. And of course, when the projectionists would get the cans of film that would come in, the orchestra leader, which would be me in this case, would go to our library of music and pick out what was called for on something called a cue sheet. And a cue sheet was a guide that basically told musicians, here's what you're supposed to play and when. So it would tell you at screening, you're supposed to play this march, and it's supposed to go for about 30 seconds until the next cue, and it would give you a preview of what you were supposed to play. And what we've done is we've rebuilt these scores for you, so we'll be really transported back in time. Now, we've got the movies, we've got the orchestra. Now we need audience participation. Oh, people are already starting to edge towards the aisle. It's not a good sign here. But you thought you would just come here and see a lovely show. No. We have to have this be an engaging part of the act for you. So, back then, the audience would be so drawn into what they would be seeing on the screen. It was a brand new experience. It's not like you go down to your local multiplex today and you have options of 15 movies. This would be something that you make a trip out of and really have fun with it. And audiences back then, if they saw the hero on screen do something good, they would clap and cheer. I think